question, but hey, I'll leave it for later.
The question will be, which question?
How do these holes work? Well, both ways.
Of course.
Well, that back in those days when flip-side tactics were a thing,
it was definitely a good map for them. I mean, it still is, to be fair.
And we were thinking, hey, finally somebody played Bank that's not Latin America or flip-side.
Yeah.
Well, things have changed, and Bank is a big staple in play here in Pro League. So
would you say Bank has seen a lot of interest?
I hate you.
Well, we got to do something during the pick ban phase here.
Well, Glass is going to get removed. Hibana, nothing surprising at all by the Hibana ban. Maybe the Echo or the Mira. There we go. Mira will get removed. Usually it's either the Maestro or the Echo. Rarely both, just because of how much Mira can bring to the table, especially on this map. But still, it's a pretty darn standard ban phase here. Nonetheless, we'll start off on round number 1, of course, and that'll be Rogue here. On the attacking side, they'll bring Maverick and the Thermite. Nothing really out of the ordinary because you really need to have both Heart Breachers. Now, you might think, oh, Maverick is only good to open up a few holes, and like maybe have some sort of hole into a breach, into a hatch. But no, Maverick actually, with his charges, has enough charges. If you play it correctly, you can take down a hatch with 2.5 charges. And sometimes a bit less even. It's just 2.5, 2 3/4, which means you can open up a hatch and still have enough to either open up another one or at least give you something to play with.
It's not just that, but it's also not, as the developers like to say, non-binary, in the sense that as you're opening up that hatch, you also get visibility down. Can try and stop anyone who might be able to try and play against you opening that hatch in a way. I mean, could also get you killed, as it often does with Maverick, but, you know, because those holes work
both ways.
Bidirectionally. But I just mean it's something that plays out a little bit different in the way that you open the hatch.
Yeah, they're fairly binary.
Yes.
10 seconds remaining.
All right, now that we've played that out. One thing that I think is interesting is seeing Slash play on Thermite.
5
oh, yeah.
seconds to go.
I mean, it's not to say that we haven't seen him play that role, but it's just, I don't know, I don't feel like that is a common role for him to play. But with another new player on the team, I feel like roles have kind of shifted a little bit more. I mean, they've tended to shift over time since this is a team that goes all the way back to the beginning. Essentially, I mean, not the same players necessarily, but going back to the beginning of Pro League. So, you know, things shift over time. And in this case, even with the only one roster change here, it's still going to be, oh, well, let's shift who's doing what, because everyone kind of has their own unique strengths that they bring to a team when they join it. Sometimes that shifts other people around.
And of course, there's nothing really to take away from Rogue. They have been playing excellently, even with their poor performance in Rio. But again, this is one of the best teams in the world, and they see the problem when they lose. They see the problem and they try to fix it. And similar thing to Evil Geniuses. So,
who didn't have any better of a performance in Rio? To be fair,
very true. All right, well, APAC is the way, that's for sure.
Unfortunately, we will not be seeing that on this channel during the season.
Yes, reminder that all these matches, like for the APAC region, are still on R6ANZ, so we don't mention them enough.
Yeah, really, you should just be following that Twitch, so we don't have to remind you.
Yes.
Because those are definitely a lot of games. I mean, there's more teams in that one quote-unquote region than all of the 3 regions combined. So.
All right, well, there you go. Eclipse will move in, and they have spotted things out. In the open area. I'm not sure if he's going to run the logic bomb here to try and move in.
Certainly seems scared to do so, just because of the angle.
Yeah, you can see that's an SMG-11. Oh, toning down, and Eclipse will find it. Yeti will go down here. The Casual, unfortunately, can't really do much against the SMG-12, even with the nerf of the SMG-12. And Crazy instantly shot down. Eclipse with yet another. My man will go down, and this leaves only 2 available. OrgLess tried to play roaming upstairs, but
attackers have located a bomb.
Unfortunately, you're running a pulse. Why do you have to do that? The pulse literally just negates any of that.
Well, you know, it's just the first round. Just let them try things.
Oh man,
experiment. They have 2 new people to play with.
Bomb located by attackers.
Well, the Thermite is going to open up the wall, and Acid will finally fall back here onto the site, and he does have a Nitro Cell in hand, but calls have come in from the Dokkaebi, and Brian has started using his smokes as well. 36 seconds on the clock, a ton of time here for Rogue to play with. And well, there you go, they're going to exhaust all the smokes. That's the last one. Brian just shot it out.
It's all on that C4 now.
Yeah, no, C4 is going to get used, and even if it does kill a player, which it won't, it just will do damage. It should be a plant to be. Acid will try to peek in, but Vertical is ready, and Vertical will take him out. Plant should be going down, and there you go. Instantly set in by Rogue. Brian will try to move in. Remember, Rogue has not lost a single player this whole round, and there you go. They will clean it up with a clean 5 men alive. Rogue just absolutely reading into OrgLess and figuring out their opponents instantly. Drones, information, kills. Beautiful efficiency.
Very well coordinated.
Yeah.
Something I also forgot to mention, since I've mentioned it the last 2 matches, we have another Obey player playing on here. So, you know, we're slowly spreading them out like spores across the other teams here. Now we've got my man, formerly from Obey, who is playing on OrgLess. So we didn't get a chance to mention it during the roster part. So it's good to see him managing to float over, and Brian was formerly on SSG before. We'll see. They're going to try Locker CCTV again. At least they have some idea how Rogue we're going to play it, so they should have some ability to try and counter that a little bit smarter. As you mentioned, the way they were playing the Roamers probably wasn't the most efficient way to do things. They do have cameras here, as they are bringing Valkyrie with Crazy, so they should be able to take advantage of that a little bit, along with the heartbeat sensor, to have a better idea what's coming at them, rather than trying to play so aggressively upstairs. So we'll see if that pays off for them, and at least maybe making it not a 5v0 at the end of the round. Managing to hopefully pick off at least one Rogue attacker before they get destroyed, if that happens again similar to last round. I like the idea with that hole there, the way they kind of held the angle on it a little bit, but they just didn't end up winning the gunfights they needed to. We'll see though, if they are opening that, it does make me think they are likely to have at least some people playing upstairs. Now they are again bringing the Jackal, and the Jackal of course helps negate a little bit of that roam play, so again, just kind of proving the point. We just takes out those drones quick. But it does somewhat negate the usefulness of playing roam when you have your footprints so well tracked. We'll see Crazy kind of running all over the map. Is going to be leaving footprints pretty much everywhere, almost guaranteeing he gets tracked at some point.
Yeah, well, at least you're going to have some information, at least with Yeti and Acid. Remember, you're running the pulse. It gives you a lot of info here. And Mucham right here, jamming the Inox for just a bit, I guess. Yeah,
it will kind of make Jackal's life slightly harder.
I don't know if it completely doesn't allow him to use it though.
No, just kind of annoying, if anything. Just a you know, disincentive to run it too long.
All right. Well, the wall is left soft and at least destroyed, and it really looks like this is the big thing here for OrgLess. They're trying to play strategy that doesn't get played a lot, and I want to say for a very good reason. Just because, oh, you're playing in the basement. You know, it's kind of fairly one-dimensional, and there you go. Shuttle just hits it, and Crazy will go down. You lose the Valkyrie, but at least the cameras have been set up.
Yeah, still getting some utility. There you go, mentioning about using the Maverick blowtorch to take out the hatches, and that's exactly what he's doing. Going to be trying to do it in the most fuel-efficient way possible since they have that top floor control.
Yeti just looking down in as the Dokkaebi might be going for a call, and there you go. Call in, they'll know where Yeti is, and he'll have to take his phone out for just a second. In the meantime, they'll get spotted, but at least we'll be able to survive and fall back on the site. There you go. You are fairly efficient here. There's a lot of time that was lost by Rogue. We're able to really get on the site just yet. And for that, you'll lose the Valkyrie.
Oh, then
it's a loss, but still not super huge for the amount of time.
Unfortunately, they gave away the cams. Some of those are not going to be destroyable necessarily, like the lobby one, for example, if that wasn't already taken out. Now they have the opportunity to use that to kind of watch for some flank potential. You know, say what you want about what Yeti was doing, but he's certainly making life very annoying for Eclipse upstairs, despite leaving.
Right, easily droning in here as 50 seconds are left on the clock. Not sure Slash has one exothermic charge. There you go. He still has one. He's going to try to use it here on the reinforced wall. They don't have the second one, but they do have the Maverick, so it should allow Rogue to have an extra line of sight if they wish to use it to their advantage. No, Shuttle's just going to be playing upstairs, just watching the staircase. From the teller's area, he still has one charge and the blowtorch available. And Acid, in the meantime, is just checking through the gold vault. It's a great positioning for the defensive side of OrgLess. You can see Nitro Cells abound, at least 2 of them here available. My man will try to play one, but he's going to watch the hatch up top. Smokes, flashes, and calls are going in. And Vertical is now on the side. He'll spray right into the back and find one easily with the second. But the peek from My Man and Brian will make it happen. 3v2. C4 thrown out, but it's not enough to clean it. My Man is not able to shoot down their fuse plant. As Brian will get one on the slash, and My Man will blast Shuttle out of the map. Still easily alive here. Can he clutch the round? As still one entryway, but the shotgun is more than enough to destroy the side of the soft wall. He sprays right in, but my man clutches it. And the headshot right into easily. Go back down to disable that diffuser. Brian down on the floor, and my man on 23 HP. All that he needed there to save the round.
Definitely a much, much better round for OrgLess that time. Part of that due to the fact that, well, they only lost one upstairs and then bailed. They had a lot more utility downstairs. You saw Brian much better at metering out the smokes that time. He had 2 in hand when he called about the 2 C4s that they also had. So just much, much better in that sense. The flank from Shuttle was nice, but just missing too many shots through the bars definitely cost him. Not to mention the shotgun doing a good job of countering that. It just, the timing wasn't there as efficiently for Rogue, and it definitely did not work out as well. I mean, I like the fact that they took advantage of the phone left upstairs as well by the Valkyrie of Crazy. It just, I don't know, didn't seem to work out as well. Shuttle, though, going to change things up slightly. So we'll see if that works out for them, as they know that now that they've, you know, they don't have to deal with the basement anymore. Now they can safely play something else besides Maverick if they don't have to worry about hatches as much, as they know open area is less likely to be played by many teams, as well as just a very difficult bomb site to defend. And there's not so many hatches they have to deal with really over top of the archive side here, so it's a little more predictable to say, hey, hatches aren't so much the concern. Still want to bring Thermite because he's still extremely useful on the bomb site, so
you really need him.
Gives him a chance to make those adaptations, so smart calls there in terms of making that happen. Otherwise, most of the rest of the lineup has pretty much stayed the same, so just, you know, make the changes where you need to. And Rogue is definitely one of those teams that stays somewhat consistent on attacker lineups till they feel like they need to make changes.
5 seconds to go.
Yeah, and really the big part here for Rogue, in my opinion, is at least that Zofia change. You know, the ability to stun lock your opponents. Even with the fact that Zofia only now has 2 charges, like Schmotz, instead of the 3 and before that the 4.
Still, it's an operator that Shuttle has played very well in the past.
Exactly, and she is still a great operator. She still offers so much to the team. Obviously, the big downside compared to Ashe is that, yeah, you don't get as many flashes, but you can control everything much easier with the fact that, you know, you're literally using a grenade launcher for it, and you lose out on the speed. Otherwise, she just is a side grade, and that's exactly where she should be. Oh, great spot here on the Yokai. Of course, IQ spotting things around. Be able to destroy one huge bit of utility and a big asset for OrgLess.
Yeah, definitely good teamwork here from Eclipse, easily.
All right, and they still need to take control of the top floor here as my man is set in. This is an attack on the towers, so you still need some control over the top. And having Shuttle and Vertical on here, even easily with possibly any breaching charges, should be more than enough to destroy the floorboard and just look on down.
That's right. You might be talking about the concussions from Shuttle being less, but the fact that he's got 2 the explosives to be able to take out those castle barricades is definitely going to help on this attack.
Exactly, and here Jackal Soul droning on in. He'll spot the Legion in the back. That is definitely something that you cannot miss. We'll get an extra spot on him. The C4 will miss there as Yeti will just jump right into the elevator. Okay, he's down to half health. Vertical has taken control in the meantime of the janitor closet. There's a player in the back. The Boomman will get spotted. Should get destroyed here, but they'll analyze and they'll find the Legion, who's in the back. Getting shot from the side as Vertical will try to engage against the castle. My man will actually win it out as it's the rotational. Vertical, what are you doing there? He'll finally go down and ask, what was Vertical doing?
I think he was just hoping that he could stay in that position and avoid those shots, and they managed to test him out, but at least good trades coming out. It's 2v2.
All right, Shuttle and Slash still alive. Arguably the 2 operators that are very much necessary for this attack here from Rogue. There's 38 seconds left on the clock. Will anybody peek? That is to be seen. Slash, he can put a thermite charge if he wants to, but the wall is still, oh no, it is not soft, so there you go. It's the standard. Some teams, like back in the day with C9, they would have the main teller's wall completely soft, just in case they want to deal with their opponents, even sometimes completely destroying it, but there's no more charges available here for that Zofia, and Slash will have to slide his way into the set and hit the barbed wire on the edge of it. Fight against the smoke up close, and he'll win it, and Shuttle from above will finish him off, and Crazy will go down. Rogue will take round number 3 by just a hair. Little to no time left.
That was definitely very close. Slash even winning that gunfight was...
That was...
Probably shouldn't have won that gunfight, let's be honest. But had he been on the shotgun, on the smoke, that definitely would have made a difference. He would have been able to win that fight much easier. But, hey, you know, sometimes when you know you've got enough bullets to be able to get the kill, you can just start spraying as you come around the corner like that. And just smart on him to know, you know what, now's the time to crawl on in. Shuttle's going to cover my back, and that's exactly what they did. Great teamwork. And, you know, I was talking about this before. It's just, Vertical was kind of new at USN, and they still managed to win with him. Yeah. Now that they've had more time to practice, this team is just... From what we've seen so far, seems to be gelling very well. Now, you question what Vertical was doing upstairs, and I got to imagine he was probably hearing different calls coming out, was trying to decide what to do. He knew that there was people on either side of him potentially that could fire on him if he moved. So it's just a case where he's like, you know what, I'm not sure what to do here. I'm going to hold position and hope they don't catch me out. Didn't work, though, to be fair. But
okay,
at the same time, you know,
this is
still coordinated.
This is a real interesting sight. Rogue's been one of the teams to go down to the through the open area. OrgLess sometimes will do that, and in this case will indeed. So it was just to see how the setup will go, especially with no Mira being available.
And as we were talking about earlier, no hatch breacher in this case, because had they known this to be the site, obviously they would bring Maverick, because you do definitely want to open up those hatches, because there's 3 good hatches to potentially use here.
Yep.
So you want as many of those as open as possible, but in this case, they're just going to have to do it the hard way. Although they still can use a exothermic charge to open a hatch. Probably don't want to open 2 because you very often want to open up the big old wall into kitchen, but you never know, they might want to play it a different way, a lot more top down. So we'll see what they end up doing. They definitely know that that's the bomb site by now. Just a question of how they're going to adapt to play against it, and whether or not it was something that they expected as a possibility. Now they will have the mute again, but this time Crazy, not going to be playing for cameras or anything like that. It's going to be playing for the pulse. So we'll see whether or not he's going to be hanging out downstairs. It looks like at the moment you can kind of potentially see him, I think, inside the tellers. I'm not sure if that was him or not. Couldn't tell by the silhouette from above. Now you see Crazy was running down some stairs there. He is going to get spotted on his own teammate's camera, so that's not big deal.
There you go. Vertical is in. So far, it's not spotted anybody's janitor. Of course, the hatch is reinforced as well as the hallway. So there's not really much that you can do. And you mentioned, you know, the Maverick would have been a great operator to have in here. And of course, the main hatch to reinforce in this situation is the one in trading, and it very much is reinforced. So all 3 hatches will give pretty much no line of sight here for Rogue. They'll have to decide on where to use the 2 exothermic charges, because one of them should definitely be going on the main big wall.
Yeah.
And from Skylight into the kitchen area, but the second one is kind of the flexible part of it.
The big plus, though, is that bringing the Jackal, they do have the IT to be able to open up some of the floor in stock or elsewhere to be able to get some line of sight down. And so that will help a little bit, but you know, we just had one going off there, and there we go. Crazy, unfortunately, not going to be fighting until late in the game.
One thing I do want to check if Easily is running breaching charges or not on his IQ.
I'd imagine so.
There you go.
Yeah.
And he's already been using them, so there you go. Slash will get one more on my man, so that's now the castle removed. And that was a bit of a fail there on the goo mine, as wanted to go for the call, so it's okay. Should be able to pick it right back up. And Vertical is just watching for any potential rotates. This is really taking time away from Rogue, as they're not able to destroy the wall just yet. They need to get the clear here on Yeti before moving in.
Yeah, he's definitely slowing things down as there's only 48 seconds left to do that, but they do have man advantage big time.
Yeah, Easily with one more, Yeti will finally be destroyed and taken out of play. Maybe this will mean the wall will finally get opened up here by our Thermite. And Zofia is already inside it, just coming in and out here, shuttle the printer room just in case. And, well, really minimum to put pressure on his opponents. Always have to worry about the Zofia in here as he peeks very closely through by the pre-open hole by the defense. There's one player, actually 2 right next to him. So he'll try to impact the wall. No, the shotgun is already in and trying to destroy it. Brian will take damage and will drop to the floor. And they're right in front of one another as Acid will find the headshot. Diffuser has already been set. Acid will find one more as 2 players will try to converge. And Shuttle will have one more angle on him. Acid all on his own here. In third-person view, it's like playing a strategy game. They'll peek in against Eclipse. Slash is right behind him. He drops one, but can he go for the 5-man? Oh man, that's 4 players now on the floor and taken out Shuttle. The last man alive here on the Zofia, 1v1, but the hatch is open. Should be an easy cleanup, and there you go, Shuttle. Taking down Acid, my man, Tomas almost getting that round there. Watching him in that third-person top-down was pretty darn interesting. It's like,
The dance around the cubicles.
It's like playing like an isometric game back in the day, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna click. It's like one of those old school RPGs, right?
Click on a square, essentially.
Yeah.
Or a hex, depending on which one you're playing.
He rolled the dice and definitely won out on 4 of those.
Yeah. Well, you saw, though, once we finally switched back to him, he had basically 0 health left. There must have been about 1 HP at that point. So it didn't really matter how many shots from him hit him. But
it was a potential comeback. But really, the big problem is the setup from OrgLess just was not working well. And Rogue were able to find them one by one.
Attackers need to locate
well, it's interesting that they know that CCTV
CCTV
being a possibility, again, they are going to bring back the Maverick. But they're still going to keep the Zofia this time, easily going to take up the Zofia role so that they still have it without Shuttle having to take that. So he can still play the Maverick role. So it's interesting that they're making some adaptations. So as I was mentioning earlier, they are a team that doesn't change too often on their attacks, but whenever they see an opportunity and something they could do better, they're definitely going to do it. In this case, it seems like they've figured out something they want to do, or at least want easily to do. So we'll see if they will be as well coordinated on this attack, as they have won it once and lost it once. So they've been 50-50 so far in this attack.
10 seconds
But it did come down to a bit of a mad scramble last time, and OrgLess just barely winning it out just due to a few one gunfights towards the end and pressure. So if Rogue is efficient on time this time and manages to either push people back down to the basement quickly or even get some kills on Crazy again, then maybe it'll work out a little bit better. I mean, last time we saw Yeti be able to escape back to site. This time he's playing a different operator. He's going to be playing on the dock. Does that mean he's going to be rotating back down later and just kind of healing himself back up after he can get away with what he can? Hard to say, because he's been playing Legion pretty consistently so far.
All right, here at the setup, you already saw that the shotguns were being used to set up by the Tellers area. The Valkyrie will get spotted here, of course, as Crazy was setting up earlier on. Jackal just keeping a beat on him on the opposite end of the map. And Yeti, though, will find one on Eclipse. Was a peek, so Eclipse will go down. Yeti having support as well near him here. It's Crazy, and they kind of use that to like, hey, he's here. You're baited. Sorry, you're dead. Yeti finds it, and he just goes back upstairs, vertical. He's going to try to find him as he gets up close to the dock, and should be an easy kill here. No, he's on the opposite end of the wall. Should hear him here, and there you go. He pounces in, but Vertical's ready, and he gets the kill on Yeti. Huge here for Vertical, taking down the dock, at least trying to equalize things, but you know, still losing the Dokkaebi is a pretty darn big loss on the attack. At least the Maverick is still alive and can be used.
Luckily,
above all else,
yeah,
the hard breachers must be defended.
They also have backup smokes as well on, I would imagine, on the Jackal, so at least they're not out smokes completely with Eclipse dying. So you haven't lost any vital utilities you mentioned with the hard breachers or the smokes, so they're still in a good position. But at the same time, Vertical is not going for any kind of reset, it looks, so he's just going to be trying to play this with low health, which means he's going to be kind of holding angles and coverage, and they're still trying to find Crazy here. So he is completely wasting time with Easily, and unfortunately for Easily, missing those shots means now he knows exactly where to watch for.
Vertical now coming in from the opposite end by the stairs just to try and shut down any rotations, trying to pinch away the Valkyrie. A final check here, and they'll spot the Valkyrie, who has gone back up. My man with one, and there you go. The Valk is able to take down Vert. Shuttle comes in and finds the kill on Crazy. It's a 3v2 advantage for the defense at OrgLess.
Both hard breachers, the only people left alive now.
Yeah, I think it's very important to keep the hard breachers alive, but maybe somebody else as well.
Yeah, not to the exclusion of others.
My man, up close. You know where he is in here, but Shuttle unfortunately has no extra manpower to help him in this offensive. And of course, my man can just flexibly destroy whatever he wants in here. He should find the angle on him. No, the smoke, the flash, everything being thrown into him. He flashes himself, yet Slash is still able to get the kill on my man. Brian will check in and throw his last smoke canister. Brian with one, Acid with the second, and Rogue just completely faltering here against OrgLess, who played pretty efficiently here on the roam game. Is something that we were kind of unsure about in the very first one when it was tried, but the bait and switch was beautiful.
Well, now the problem for OrgLess, though, is the only bomb site they've been able to successfully win is CCTV. And, well, they're forced to switch off of it every time they do. They will not get another chance to play it.
Yep, that is very true. That is, of course, the last round of this first half.
So there's a very good chance, if things go as they have been so far, that we'll see Rogue come out into the switch with a 4-2 lead. But worst case scenario, it ends up 3-3. Although I would imagine they will do what they can to avoid that. Easily going to be dropping off that Sophia, as it didn't do enough for them last round. And Shuttle actually going to be picking up Buck, a role he is also very good at. But definitely something different. And this is going to really allow them to open up a lot of the floor, because between the ITA on Vertical's Jackal, Buck's Skeleton Key, and then the breach charges that Easily is bringing, they're going to have more than enough floor destruction to open up whatever they need to. And then, of course, plenty of smokes as well as a hard breacher. So they have a lot of utility to get in here and do some damage. It might just be up to the roamers to really stop that if they can play far enough off site. But hey, if you can get an early pick on Vertical, now you've got a lot more mobility on roam, but you still got to worry about Eclipse's phone calls.
Very true here. I see Brian destroying the wall, at least the half of it. You really want to make the potential for sliding into the site more complicated for the attackers, which is what happened before when you saw Slash just sliding in and eventually getting the kill on the smoke in a position where 100% he should not have won that engagement. So you just this is one of the only times where, hey, you should probably just destroy on the torso level of the wall and not the leg level, which I usually am very much behind. But Shuttle will find the very first one here on Yeti. That's
an important start, because Yeti's been able to survive a little bit longer than Rogue would like a lot of the times these rounds, and been a bit of a problem for him. So that is going to be a big impact, I imagine, as of course that's also Doc off the board without getting a chance to use his spin pistols or do any damage really to Rogue at all. And there's now, of course, a phone as well to pick up. Shuttle, unfortunately, took his kill and left. So at least he managed to do his damage before he's gone. I imagine hopefully we'll be back soon. Hopefully not an internet problem that causes him to be out for long term. But of course we will rehost if necessary.
Yeah, and of course we won't rehost this round as we're already gone through. And he has returned. So just small disconnect, no problemo. And he has done the work. At least it's a trade, right? The Thermite is opening up the wall and we'll get it done.
Well, we'll see if Vertical can manage to get through the janitor closet a little more safely this time.
Which wall did he actually open?
Let's see. Oh, there we go. Phone call coming out, as well as Jackal tracking on Legion. So Legion's going to have double duty to deal with here. But at least he's going to be able to guard himself a little bit with goo mines. But my man, next to fall from Eclipse.
Now they know that there's one in here in the elevator, but is able to drop through the hatch, so it's pre-opened. And you'll see Crazy standing up on the site. 3v4 as Eclipse is taking a decent chunk of damage here. But the call from the Dokkaebi will reveal Acid's position, and because he's underneath and there's no destroyed floor, it's very difficult to hear the call correctly. So relying on the Jackal is a better thing to do, and this is why breaching charges on the IQ is much better on this. It just allows you more flexibility. Even with 3 breaching charges, you can actually do quite a bit of work, and you can analyze this from the 8-meter range, but Acid is ready and he gets one. The drone is going to get shot down as it does turn into a 3v3. 35 seconds on the clock. It seems like at this point in time in every single round, things kind of tend to change very quickly. Easily to get one, but Acid to refrag very quickly here. 2v2. It's the advantage in health, at least in OrgLess's hands. Still have shotgun shells and one single remote gas canister here for Brian. And Toxic Babe might just get used here. Oh no, it's not gonna hit. It's on the printer, and Eclipse will find the kill. Brian will go down. Acid can protect this from above. He's able to play the same way that we saw before. The diffuser has to go down, and that is up to Slash. Eclipse will have to defend him. As Acid will try to rotate in soft wall with no impact grenades to use, which is very unfortunate for him. Smokes will slow him down, and there's no rotation hole on the opposite end. Unfortunate. A bit of a misplay here from OrgLess as Acid will walk on in, get damaged, and Eclipse will finish him off as looked like an almost return here for OrgLess, but Rogue is ready to clap, and they do indeed finish off the last player and get her done.
Well, just the time management there from Acid did not work out. He almost got into a position where he was going to be able to stop that diffuser, but the hesitation in going through the scanner there definitely cost him a bit of time. That
There was no rotation hole on the other side as well, so he couldn't really use another angle to peek through.
No, it was a case where he was trying to decide what to do, and just the hesitation cost him. But also the smoke was a nice, smart play there in the last second. Once you got the diffuser down, smoking right there pretty much put him in a tough spot. And like you said, a lack of rotation hole meant pretty much he was choke pointed through there. Slash kind of teasing that he's going to bring out the Foster. Of course, it's more just going to make him wonder what he actually is going to play. Blackbeard, though, going to come out, was banned in a previous matchup on Consulate there, but definitely going to be brought here by Yeti. Should be interesting to see the first one of the day here.
As many bombs as they can.
Acid going to be the one to take up the Maverick mantle. I do think Acid had somewhat better plays on Legion than Yeti was able to pull off to an extent, but at the same time, both of them seem to have very different play styles of being able to kind of play against the way that Rogue are attacking. We'll see. Eclipse are going to be picking up the pulse, something he's been doing more and more over time. See how well. I gotta wonder if they're gonna have Vertical on the roam, just because Vertical's such a good roamer, and Jackal, or not Jackal, but Jaeger is a good roam operator. But
5 seconds to insertion.
He's a good operator in general, really very flexible. You can do with the Jaeger whatever you really need. And here they're just gonna be watching in the tunnel, just in case. I mean, the tunnel actually has been fairly underused.
It is, well, to be fair, it is kind of a problematic area in that you are kind of restricting yourself, and your ability to rotate, if you decide to come from a different way, costs you a ton of time as an attacker. So it's an all or nothing kind of commitment a lot of times. It becomes very problematic, especially if they have something like, you know, Legion to throw goo mines in there and other things like that to be able to kind of really make it obvious you're coming from there. They kind of have the time advantage in waiting you out.
Now we'll Acid on the Maverick, moving on in here, taking control of the open area. Spots a reinforced sidewall, but that is no problem for the Acidic Man. It's Slash actually waiting in here with Mute. And
he's always the one playing these stairs.
Yeah, and really it's a pretty good spot. Now there's still a second ADS here to catch extra utility. Contrast here, Crazy is running the Claymore instead of the Breaking Charges that we saw Rogue running on their IQ.
I like the use of holding an angle just in case Slash wanted to come out and do something about that. There might breach charge. He's interestingly playing though. Is that? I mean, it doesn't look like that's the shotgun that he's using right there, or is it?
That is the shotgun.
Okay, it's hard to see most of it with that big sight on it.
I mean, there's M59081.
There you go. That's a little below my desk view here.
All right. Well, Vertical still looking on in. Slash is waiting, and sometimes you'll see a shield being put in front of the player in the stairs.
I mean, it tends to slow them down to an extent, but if they have the right soft structures, it's usually not too hard to take out. Yeah,
the best way to really deal with it is open up the hatch and try to play from below. Some teams will also, rarely, but will happen, to run through the tunnel, and there you go. The second ADS has not been spotted. My man, though, will find it, and Slash unable to deal with a quick pre-fire peek. My man. And here to clean up the servers, is there anybody in the back? Brian's going to go and drone in. Very smart here. Instead of just immediately chucking in the grenade, they'll have a teammate droning them out.
Yeah, I mean, if you've gotten this far and still have 45 seconds left, why waste the grenade that you could potentially use elsewhere? We'll see, though.
It's just all about conservation, and this is what I love, the late round rotation. Usually it's a Hibana that does this, but obviously because Hibana is not available, we're going to see the Blackbeard doing this. He'll have to deal with the Yokai easily and the Echo in general. Brian and my man taking a bit of damage here, and the Echo actually peeks and wins it easily. Wow, that was beautiful there. Vertical will get one on Acid in the meantime. My man taking quite a bit of damage as well here on his sledge. They'll run right through the smoke, and my man solo on health will pick up the diffuser easily with a quick finisher at the end. And beautiful plays here by easily grab the 3K2 of the MP5. They all line up for him here. And of course, the third player, the last one. And quick finisher with the Bearing 9, which is actually an SMG that has seen quite a bit less play compared to back in the day after the nerf. PT29 gang represent.
I mean, you could say that about the SMG-12 too, but that doesn't seem to have stopped the clips.
Yeah, I mean, there's rare players. Like, for example, if you take a look at Wilkie, for example. He's one of the players that even from the start has been talking and promoting the use of CSET 75, and it works out pretty okay for him as well.
But you could see definitely the struggles with the SMG-12. The best example was when Eclipse was shooting the door from the lobby of the bank into the hallway.
And it just bounced.
And it just, I mean, he managed to get the door, but it kicked all over the place to the point where he wasn't even hitting the door by the end of the clip. So it's definitely a struggle to control. But hey, if you can manage it, it is a good operator to be able to run fairly consistently, and it definitely worked out for them during a lot of those attacker rounds. So we'll see. Shuttle's going to be the one to bring out the Legion here. Should be interesting as they are going to be on Tellers. Vertical on Doc. Should be fun. Yeti's going to try the Blackbeard yet again. This time the Blackbeard's going to be potentially useful through the lobby windows if he wants to try and catch anyone. Doing anything cheeky or trying to peek the doorway from the Teller side over towards the front of the lobby. See if anyone wants to risk their neck like that, as he will be able to watch that a lot more safely. There's the door there. Thanks for highlighting that, Marcio. But that is one castle barricaded up, so no one's going to be peeking that at any time soon. But of course, the disadvantage is if they are trying to thermite that wall, it becomes a little bit harder to deal with it outside of impact nades, which of course you can use to impact trick it. Or if you really want to get crazy, just impact your own castle door and run out to get them.
And a lot of players will keep one impact grenade just in case, because you know you instantly can peek through just with the way that impacts function. Of course, instead of just having to take down the castle walls one by one, it manually takes a second and a half or so. It's not super efficient, but still. Yeti running in with the Mark 17. A lot of players really have a big pick between the Mark 17 or the SR-25. You'll see the kill Brian, the Thermite. He's been knocked off of OrgLess. That is the only hard breacher available for OrgLess. That is definitely not a good position to be in.
Well, that really funnels the rest of the attackers. Now the defenders can just kind of play a lot smarter and a lot more passive. It's not as much that the attackers can even do about it.
It is still okay. It's not the end of the world, but you'd still like to have that Thermite just to have an extra angle. Now the Blackbeard will get picked here, and they know where he's at, and Acid will win out the fight against Vertical and make it a 4v4.
At least Vertical managed to get one kill first. Shed a little bit low on health, and there is someone directly to his left.
Oh, the peek pre-fired by Crazy here, but the C4 from Slash, he'll take him down, and then drop all the way down, easily finding the body shots on Yeti. Really, the only realistic way of taking out the Blackbeard efficiently. This leaves my man and Acid, last two alive versus the three here of Rogue. Eclipse scanning in. There's no hard breach available, and you can do whatever you want with those EMPs, but time is the only thing that you really have to your advantage in this situation if you're OrgLess.
Yeah, at this point, those EMPs are just best at taking out the mute jammers if there's any left to deal with. So you can try and get some drones in, maybe set some up like Acid's trying to do there. I could imagine could call out, or no, he doesn't need to call, he's the Thatcher, but call out to himself. Please, Thatcher this. But, the double drop!
What is that? Shotgun in the face, and Slash will finish them off.
I love the synchronized drop, but it certainly didn't work with this. Hold on, let me switch guns real quick. I'll be right back.
There you go. Just needs a bit more ammo.
I mean, I appreciate he tried to push him, but you're not a 3-speed, and it's just... that wasn't a great opportunity there, and Slash was absolutely on top of it. He did see both of them. So.
I mean, you mentioned the 3-speed thing, but I'd like to remind people, 3-speeds are not as fast as they were before.
No, not as fast as they used to be. It still makes a difference.
Yeah.
And sometimes in moments like that, it could have been a significant difference because Slash took a while to switch and come back. But yeah, you're right. They absolutely are not.
They're around 10% slower than what they were in the past. And 1-speeds are about 10% faster when they were in the past. Kind of 2-speeds are just there.
Yeah, they're just there. They just exist.
They're perfectly balanced. They're a 2-2, right?
Exactly. Why isn't everyone 2-speed?
Which means Lion is exactly balanced because he. Okay.
That must be, all right.
I'm so happy that Lion is quarantined.
You should have made bands more interesting.
Honestly, I remember when we were in Rio and watching the esports panel with Pio and Justin and Carrie, and really when we heard, Lion is now quarantined, which means he's not going to be played in Pro League anymore.
Does it mean we heard the crowd roar?
You could hear the roar of all the casters from every single region crying, basically. Just clapping and crying and yelling like, finally!
Like 1,000
it's
voices
done. It was beautiful. Well, you saw something pretty interesting there, Tevin, didn't you?
Yeah.
Easily.
That was
playing the Clash.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be interesting, especially for this bomb site. Now, this is a bomb site that OrgLess wouldn't touch, oddly enough. This is the one they didn't want to play. They chose to play open instead. Rogue actually being one of the teams to really push this heavy outside of what were flip side at the time. it's definitely worked out somewhat well for them compared to, especially Open, the other side that they tried to kind of experiment on. So it's no surprise to see them playing this for what is quite likely the final round of this matchup.
So far, I mean, we've had 7-2, 7-3, and maybe another 7-2.
Yeah, it's definitely, again, the wisdom of the crowd seems to be working out in terms of favoritism. It should be a 7-2 based off the way the community vote.
Attackers have dropped the bomb.
All right, well, Acid will walk on in and find that the 2 walls here are bandit batteried, and my man will have to move out. Shuttle running with the Iron Sight MP7. A lot of people were asking, well, at least every now and then you'll see a post on Reddit. It's like, why Iron Sights? Well, they're fairly clear. Vertical will find crazy. So the ACOG working out here. AQ out of play, and Vertical will bring himself back up to 100% health. Just peeking in, and yeah, you have the Clash in the back. That's easy to play with. Eclipse from the side will get another one here on the UMP. My man, though, from the side will get one. Brian.
Attackers have
Only one with
located a bomb.
Slash. My man going down a Vertical. Shuttle taking a lot of damage as well. Yeti just peeking in, but again, that's the Blackbeard. If he gets the kill on the window, that's all right. There's still the Clash available, and the Clash is pretty darn powerful, especially when it's being played as a tank. It's like a much more mobile and effective Blackbeard. The Clash will finally go down, and I'm not sure how the Clash died, or at least was down. But Yeti will have to walk back in, and he finds the headshot on Vertical. Though he spots the Clash. No more Delta Shields to play with here. He's going to have to deal with 2 players, Eclipse and Easily. Another Flash, and unfortunately that's not a grenade. You need to get right up into the Clash to kill her. And there you go. Eclipse will take him out just from the side, and Rogue will take round number 9, and that is all that they needed. 7-2.
That combo with Clash and Doc, because once Clash got down, Doc was just like, here, I got you. Now we're right back up, Blackbeard high. Guess who's got a shield that doesn't break?
Yep.
So nicely done, great teamwork there at the end. The combo of the ACOG behind the shield is just, yeah, you can't quick switch with the shield anymore, but you don't need to when you've got a smart Doc player. So just, I mean, we're seeing Rogue definitely playing top of their form, though. They may have had a few rounds where they lost CCTV attacks. They definitely seem to struggle quite a bit against some of the roam plays being made. But overall, very efficient attack, and that's why you see 7-2 scoreline. I question whether we're going to see a team on the losing end get more than 3 rounds so far, because we've only got 1 match to go.
Yeah, and of course that'll be Rise Nation versus Dark Zero. I would like to remind everyone, since we're already here, but we're going to do it throughout the week, that the APAC qualifier for 6 Invitational, the offline qualifiers, are happening this weekend, January 12th. And, you know, the 4 teams that are playing are Fav Gaming, Mantis, Airwolf, and OrgLess. So a team from Japan, Korea, Indonesia. And
wait, OrgLess, they're playing in 2 regions?
Well, technically, we're in 3.
I think we need a variety of, like, OrgLess type names
Yeah.
to just rotate around.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's the 4 teams that are going to be playing. And if you're kind of excited about the APAC scene, especially after Rio, which you probably should be, there's something to look forward to on the weekend, so you could watch it in between the different regular non-APAC Pro League broadcasts. It's still Pro League, you know. It's 6 Invitational, so it's Pro League circuit, but not really Pro League.
And I believe we'll still be doing this on Sunday as well this weekend, so
We
you're not
have-
going to get any sleep.
Yeah,
No one will this week, or this month.
this month.
So don't try. Just don't. Fall asleep to APAC.
Sleep
if you have
is
to
for
while
the
you're
weak.
watching.
Or, yeah, it's very true.
So,
Or
I mean, you
all
might
of
be in a
us.
weird time zone. If you're watching this, you're probably not on the APAC time zone.
All right, well, that was a bit of a reminder. I know there's a lot of stuff happening here and there, and some people have spotted that this is behind us. I wonder where Valkyrie is. I would like to thank Stevie Wonderager, who actually sent us the turkey leg and this Valkyrie camera that was moving around. What is that?
Repositioning, you hold down F. It's not hard.
Depending on the day. Well, we're waiting on our interview here. We'll remind you that this was a victory for Rogue against OrgLess 7-2 on Bank. It was 7-2, 7-3, 7-2 so far. Rise versus Dark Zero is our final matchup for the night. And really, I'm struggling to find a lot of stuff to talk about in Bank, other than, yeah, there's a couple rounds. There were some plays, especially from Acid, that you saw. Otherwise, it's just OrgLess making a lot of mistakes and Rogue able to capitalize on them. Even when rounds got a bit too close, it was just Rogue winning gunfights that they should never win.
To be fair, they were also ready to trade a lot of times. So you had someone like Yeti, for example, playing Valkyrie, setting up cameras all around, and that was there to kind of help them roam a little bit. They were playing 2 or sometimes 3-man roams. They had the cameras to assist with that, so the people that are on site can be watching those because they know all the attackers pretty much are going to be roam clearing. They're not going to have to worry about that. That on site they could sit there and watch those. But the problem is, let's say you're Yeti and you're like, ah, cool, I've spotted a guy, someone's calling him out, I'm going to go get the jump on him. Go to get the jump on him. You maybe win that gunfight, but guess what? His friend's right there, trades you.
Yeah.
And now there's one less roamer upstairs. And so, yeah, the roam.
And in the one round, that there was no trade.
Yeah.
It ended up in a victory. They used the Jackal tracking the Valkyrie to bait into the dock, and then they got the Dokkaebi off of it.
What's the problem is they're bringing a Jackal and a Dokkaebi pretty much every time. And so, like, yeah, you might have a camera, but that's not as flexible as a phone call or a footprint scanner.
All right, well, our interview is ready, so let's put it up here. I believe it's Ranger.
Really?
From Rogue, yeah. It'd be very interesting to Evening, boys. How are you?
Turn it up a bit.
Can you hear me correctly?
Okay.
Sorry, webcam not working in the Rogue house today.
Okay, it's just the microphone is, I think, is routing through the camera. Anyways, congratulations, first of all, on your victory at U.S. Nationals. You know, you guys, best team in the USA. There you go, that CTM jersey in the back. Congratulations as well on your victory here against OrgLess on Bank. It was more of a sweep than we really expected. I think the biggest thing to talk about here is how you guys were able to adapt to OrgLess's big roam play that they were running really most of the time on their defense. When you spotted the way that they were spreading out around the map, how was the checklist being built up in the players' minds?
I mean, they ran the same roam every round, so we just slowly changed what we were doing. We made a couple mistakes on a few of the rounds, but as a whole, we just ran our stuff and closed it out against them.
Now, in the 4th round, when you guys were attacking open area, the Echo was just there for a lot of time, and nobody really did anything about him for a decent chunk. Even though the diffuser was already down, he still was able to get a 4K, and you know, everybody's heart was pumping at that point. It's like, is this actually going to happen? Is this going to be the ace comeback? How is the communication going on in that situation? Because I'm not sure if things were very clear between the players.
All right, so what happened was I told Ver to watch through the smoke, but my mic actually cut out, so he didn't hear me. So I thought he heard me and was watching through the smoke, but he wasn't. So he killed me, and then he killed someone else, and then I said he's directly under the hedge, like when he came out the smoke, and Shuttle thought I said he was above the hedge. So it was just like that comms that round that kind of just caused it. That's pretty much it. It wasn't like the comms actually broke down. It's just my mic cut out for a second and kind of just like ruined the whole round.
Yeah, it happens, and it wasn't really a big deal at the end for you guys. Now, the final round, the Clash Dog combo, that was definitely very interesting. It literally is a double reinforced tank that just walks in and plows through anybody. And you know, sometimes some people are afraid to deal with a Blackbeard, and it seems like Clash is an operator that finds that role and really is able to hold down hallways very efficiently. You know, how I don't want to really ask, well, what do you think about, you know, like running a Clash in a hallway? But at the end, that's exactly what happened. It was more than enough to deal with your opponents that kind of seemed to falter and aren't really able to figure you guys out, even on the defense. I don't know what was happening there. But you look back on the attacks down into the CCTV area. There was a certain time where we were thinking, okay, how the Maverick is going to be used, how is he really going to be set up, and specific round where he wasn't even brought at all. What's the reasoning, and how do you think Maverick should be used efficiently on Bank? Because almost every time Hibana is going to be banned, right?
Yeah, I mean, the general idea behind Maverick is that he kind of fills the role of Hibana as a general hard breacher, but he also slows down the attack a ton because it takes a lot longer to open hatches with Maverick than Hibana. So it's kind of a method of banning Hibana and forcing the other team to use Maverick. It buys a lot of time for the defense and can kind of mean that you can trade out the end of the round using utility.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense, of course. But yeah, a fairly, I want to say, standard match. There wasn't really too many mistakes that happened here and there. But Congratulations again on your victory. Anything you guys would like to say to your fans, you know, not only after this win, but also after your win at USN and hometown Vegas, actually, not just too long ago?
I mean, pretty much just thank you to all the fans. Thank you for Rogue staff for always supporting us. Shout out to everyone who came out to the event, bought hoodies, jerseys, all that, and for hopefully we continue the success into the Pro League season. Thank you for everything.
All right, well, there you go. Thank you guys very much. Congratulations again, and we can't wait to see more of your games throughout the week and these very interesting Super Weeks as we head into 6 Invitational. Good night, boys.
Thank you.